What is the deeper meaning of Chanukah? What is the more mystical meaning of it? When we look at Chanukah, we find that you had a few Jews, a handful, standing up against one of the mightiest armies of the time, the Greek army, Greek-Assyrian army. And it was an incredible battle, and they won. It would be like nowadays, a few Jews, a handful, saying, right, we're going to fight against the whole of the American army, and then beating them. It would be impossible. But yet they did it. They then went up to the temple. In the temple they found a little jug of oil, which was still had the high priest's seal in it, to prove that it was still pure. They took the oil, they put it in the menorah, and in the menorah, instead of lasting just one day, which it naturally should have lasted, it lasted for 8 days, miraculously. And the question is, why is the stress on Chanukah more on the oil than on the physical victory, the battles and so forth? It's talked about a bit, but really the whole, if you ask someone about Chanukah, the whole thing is the oil, the lighting of the menorah. Why? And the answer is, when we look at the actual war, what is it about? In our prayers we talk about the idea that the Greeks, Assyrians, they wanted they wanted to make us forget your Torah, and they wanted us to transgress your commandments. The question is, in our prayers, why did it say your Torah? What? God's Torah? Obviously it's God's Torah. What other Torah is there? Just say they wanted us to make us forget the Torah. And the answer is no. The Greeks were fine if we learn Torah. If you learn Torah, fine. It's an intellectual thing. It makes sense. You should learn it. Even if you don't understand it. There's something which is a higher intellect behind it. And you should strive to try and understand it. What they couldn't stand is that we kept the Torah, not because it intellectually makes sense, is because it's something we have to do. It's God's will. No matter if it makes sense or it doesn't make sense. The stress is not in the comprehension, the understanding, the intellect of the Torah. It's on the holiness of the Torah. Because it's God's Torah. It's a godly Torah. Therefore I have to do it. I have to learn it. I have to fulfill the commandments. And this is summed up with the oil. The oil, it was something which had to be pure. Purity is not something which makes sense. This should be pure and this should be impure. Why? Why does it have to be pure? Because that's what God said. It's above rationale, above intellect. And this is the victory is expressed in the oil, because not only does it show that the miracle, something which is above nature, above comprehension, but it also shows on a special connection between the Jews and God. And we have this special connection expressed by the oil and the miracle of that oil. And the deeper significance, the lesson we learn from this, that Torah is compared to light. Torah or. That when we learn Torah, it's not just that we have to learn what to do, and we have to understand it, and we have to question it. It's not just, in addition to that, to become connected to God, but it's also because that's what God wants. That behind all the intellectualization of it and the rationale and the analysis, there's something which is godly. And one has to feel that godly aspect which is above intellect within the Torah one learns. And this is the miracle of Chanukah. This is the deeper significance of Chanukah. That we have to feel the holiness of Torah, the holiness of the mitzvahs, of the commandments. And please God, when we understand this and we feel this, this brings even closer the time when once again we will once again light the menorah in the Beis Hamikdash, in the temple. That's going to happen very, very soon, but we can do it, bring it even closer, and may it take place now. Happy Chanukah.
So